Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did what it was supposed to do yesterday overnight here around 2 o'clock in the morning in the UK, no UTC time that was. But yeah, it did what it was supposed to be doing. It put a fifth wave in place and I would now be ready for a possible move down. A correction. So we talk about that in a minute. First of all, for all new viewers, let's zoom out a little bit. I will make a more, let's say a longer video later discussing the different scenarios. I don't want to do that in every video, not to confuse everybody. But anybody who's interested in the longer term scenarios, plus the different scenarios that could play out here in more detail, check in one of the videos later. I'll make two more today anyway about Bitcoin. I think it will be the third one that I will do a bit of a deeper dive into different scenarios. But for now, to keep it simple, the trend is currently up. Yeah, we've been ignoring bearish counts for a while now. Not that we don't, I'm not saying ignoring for the sake of, they're not going to happen, but ignoring for it's worthless to really focus on a bearish wave count in an uptrend and when we are hovering above support. So it's also a bit of a waste of time. Because anybody who continuously would have focused on bearish wave counts here over the last few weeks and months would have led not only their viewers to believe, we are definitely going to come down again, but also people would have lost out on a lot of, let's say, possible profits or to establish a good base in the bear market for the current prices and a possible bull run to start. I'm not saying a bull run will definitely start, could still fail. But that's why we are looking at support levels all the time. And if these support levels are failing, then we can talk about bear count. Yeah, bear count very easily. I mean, bearish scenario is we're going to make a new bear market low below the November lows. And that's why I give you the support levels. Because if these support levels fail, and the main one here, it's the longer term one, if 17.5K is failing, then we are probably looking at something like a 10K Bitcoin or so. But for now, we are far away from that, and we've got certain micro and smaller support levels along the way. Of course, if each of them breaks, probabilities increase that also eventually we are going to head back into to make new bear market lows. But as long as these support levels are holding, I consider it a waste of time to focus on the bearish count. Whatever any whales are doing or whatever, I'm not into on-chain analysis, and this is massively confusing anyway, and you can come to different conclusions, and we don't want to get into analysis paralysis. We're just focusing on the chart that's objective, because if you mix different styles of analysis and if you mix on-chain and Elliott Wave, pointless, absolutely pointless. You don't want to mix fundamental analysis with technical analysis. If you do that, you completely, it's like double counting things, because the fundamentals are already priced into the chart. So you have everything that you need if you watch the chart and if you analyze the chart. There's no point looking at on-chain analysis and trying to find out what the wallet addresses are doing when you do Elliott Wave analysis, because it's, you don't need it. Yeah, it's a waste of time in my opinion, and it can give you wrong conclusions. I mean, all you need to do for trading, investing is to understand where are the key invalidation points, where's the trend going. And that's what we do. Yeah, keep it simple. And it's still confusing enough with all these scenarios, right? So, but it's what it is. But the trend is up. Rallied in 5 waves of November low, came down in a corrective move in a wave 2, and we could now be in that third wave rally. Yes, it could be something more bearish, as always. When charts can always fail after 3 waves. And I don't want to get into too much detail now into different counts here. Still need to update the timestamp. Ignore for now. Don't want to get into too much counts now, because we do that in the later video, but could just be a WXY. This would be the bearish count, just for anybody who's wondering. WXY should be limited actually to 35K, to be honest. Shouldn't go much higher. And this could be an ABC within the Y wave. Yeah, so we could be currently working on the C wave, but in this C wave, when we put that in place afterwards, obviously that's where we need to be watching. For now, we're holding support and we're just focusing on the upside. Okay, so if I'm looking at the price action since the 10th of March, you can see we rallied in an impulse, a possible 1-2-1-2 setup, which would be very bullish, or a wave 1 where we could expect a deeper pullback. Can still happen. Yeah, so but at the moment at the moment, I would nearly treat it as if we have got already a low in place here for this 1-2 setup, which means we could be in a breakout to 30k plus, to keep it simple, yeah? Could be in a breakout to 30k plus. We have this week come down in a very shallow correction. Looks incomplete still, but you can count it as complete as a WXY correction. We've got here a possible wave 2 low in place. This was the low on Monday. As long as we have a possible low in place and we had 5 waves up off the low, we said we can focus on higher. Up here, after we had the first initial 5 up, told you I will give you a support area where the price can go into, it can reverse. It might be the last chance to jump onto the train to above 30k. Now, I'm not saying you this is the last chance. It might be. Yeah, always be very, very much. This can still fail. Yeah, it's still on very shaky grounds here. But for now, things are looking good. It's doing what we want at the moment. Okay, so as long as, again, just whatever it's doing here, from a high level point of view, very clearly, I need to tell you that as long as it's holding 27,050, I assume we are in a breakout. Below 27,050, and if it gets a sustained break below that, we are probably just going to reset this wave 2 correction. Yeah, so where we say, okay, possibly it ended here on Monday and we're now in an uptrend again on the smaller time frame. Maybe we're not yet, and we come down a little bit lower, would then have a chance to find support in one of the lower support areas, but don't want to highlight that into too much detail now. We'll just confuse everybody for now. As long as we're holding the support, we're treating it as such and assume we are in an uptrend against 27,050. So we rallied, or we turned around at the golden ratio, always a level to watch, yeah, perfectly. Here that was on Friday, and we've now rallied higher yesterday. That was anticipated because we did move up in 5 waves. We came down in 3, and we talked about yesterday morning. I talked about this is the ideal time to turn around. I even tweeted, so you can check that. But it was because we had an ABC structure down complete. Yeah, with 5 waves in the C wave, that's the perfect correction. So that's done. We then rallied. Yes, we had PCE, core PCE as positive influence, but it was still already written in the chart that there's a good chance to rally from here in 5 waves, which we did. Yeah, so we had 1, 2, 3. Did highlight in my last video yesterday to you that wave 4 was possibly complete and we could get 5 up. Which we did then, yeah, into the area between, I think we talked about targets between 28.8 and 28.95k or something. So it made the 5 waves. I think that's what we can establish here. Not the nice 5, but it's an ending diagonal. It happens often in a wave 5, so that's fine. I gave you a target yesterday for the 5th wave between, let's just do that. So it reached here the 38.2, the very first one. Oh, that was the target range, wasn't it? 28,700 and 28,970. Let me actually check what could I put something on Twitter. By the way, if you want more up-to-date signals and things like that, then yeah, check out the gold membership. Yeah, okay. Bitcoin needs one more wave with an ideal target between. 1 second, how was it? Just took that out. 28,700 and 28,800 to give us 5 waves off. Okay, so yeah, it overshoot that by $25, but I think I did revise it in the video to a little bit higher. But yeah, it did what it needed to do. So perfect, and it got rejected basically in that region. So I would now assume the 5 waves are in. So that gives again higher confidence in a breakout pattern, because then I can count this move up now again as a wave 1. So this support area, the trend reversal area, did hold. I will hide that now. We don't need it anymore. So it would have been a profitable trade if anybody wanted to take it, but it's very small time frame. Now this could have been then a wave 1, and I'm now thinking we are in a wave 2. Yeah, so at least be ready for it. Could still be some kind of a triangle which is playing out here, but because we had 5 up in 5, I have to assume this is now done. And we could now be coming down in a wave 2. So what is now next support? So I gave you that support area as well. I leave that on the chart because this is still relevant. Oops, didn't want to hide that, no. But I will put those numbers on the left hand side. If we come down now in a wave 2, what is relevant micro support? It's on the screen now. So we're looking now essentially for an ABC correction, something like that. And in whatever Bitcoin is doing now, as long as it's holding 27,780, we can focus on higher. If it breaks down from here, which is now less probable, but still possible, then 27,050 will be next key support. But until then, this is the next key support, yeah? Which doesn't mean it has to get into it. It can just do a very shallow one, but it might be we're doing now this B wave over the weekend. Yeah, it play out like that correction over the weekend before we then could rally. Again, condition here, it needs to hold 27,780. So yeah, I'll keep you updated about that one. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.